The movie is set in the heart of the Deep South, a land where faith and sin collide. At the center is Lazarus, a man who once knew love and music, now drowning in bitterness and anger. Enter Ray, a young woman lost in a cycle of destructive behavior, struggling with a crippling sex addiction. With his unwavering resolve, takes it upon himself to save Ray, using any means necessary. In a world where darkness looms, can two broken souls find the light together? The movie begins with an emotional scene where Ray and her boyfriend, Ronnie, share a tender moment, dancing together as Ronnie prepares to leave for his deployment in Tennessee. This moment is charged with emotion, knowing that their time together is limited. Meanwhile, another story unfolds with Lazarus, a man facing the devastation of his wife leaving him after more than 10 years of marriage. Once a celebrated blues guitarist, Lazarus is now a bitter farmer, struggling with the betrayal of his wife, who left him for his own brother. This betrayal leaves him angry and lost, trying to navigate his new reality. As Ronnie departs, Ray's inner turmoil becomes apparent. Despite her love for Ronnie, her battle with sex addiction leads her into the arms of another man within hours of Ronnie's departure. Ray is known around town for her revealing clothes and wild behavior, which has caused tension between her and her mother. That night, Lazarus seeks solace at a local bar owned by a friend, trying to drown his sorrows in alcohol. He quietly ignores the advances of a woman at the bar, still reeling from his recent heartbreak. The situation escalates when his brother enters the bar, seeking forgiveness. Lazarus listens, but is unable to contain his anger, leading to a violent confrontation where he smashes a beer bottle and chases his brother out of the bar. On the other side of town, Ray attends a wild party, where she indulges in alcohol and drugs, leaving her intoxicated and vulnerable by the end of the night. Ronnie's friend Gil offers to drive her home, but on the way he tries to assault her. Ray mocks him, enraging Gil, who then brutally beats her and leaves her unconscious on the side of the road, fearing he has killed her. The following morning, Lazarus discovers Ray's beaten and unconscious body while taking out the trash. Despite his rough exterior, he feels compelled to help her. He carries her inside his home, lays her on the sofa, and tries to wake her. Ray, still delirious, mumbles a name, which Lazarus assumes belongs to her assailant. Recognizing her as a local, Lazarus quickly seeks medication from a nearby pharmacy, where a friend helps him without a prescription. Before heading back, Lazarus confronts the man Ray mentioned, but the man denies involvement, instead revealing that Ray suffers from sex addiction, a condition more complex than mere promiscuity. Back at his home, Ray is plagued by feverish nightmares of her assault. She wakes up and tries to crawl away, but her fever leaves her too weak. Lazarus finds her on the floor, and when he tries to comfort her, she suddenly kisses him. Shocked, Lazarus pulls away, causing Ray to scream and cry out his name. Confused and scared, Lazarus runs out of the house with his Bible. After calming down, he returns and places Ray in an ice bath to bring down her fever. As night falls again, Ray attempts to escape, calling out for Ronnie in her delirium. Lazarus finds her and brings her back to the sofa. Ray fears he will take advantage of her, but Lazarus assures her that he only wants to help. He soothes her with soulful singing, and eventually, exhausted by her escape attempts, Lazarus chains Ray to a radiator, believing it's the only way to help her confront her demons. Days pass, and Lazarus continues to care for Ray, tending to her wounds and providing meals, all while keeping her restrained. When her fever finally breaks, Ray wakes up coherent for the first time. Lazarus tries to talk to her about her addiction, but their conversation takes a turn when Ray realizes she's been chained. She screams for help, but no one is around to hear her. Lazarus refuses to let her go, believing it's his spiritual duty to cure her of her sinful ways. One day, while out shopping, a teenager named Lincoln, who helps on Lazarus's farm, visits the house. Starved for attention after days of isolation, Ray impulsively jumps on him, but Lazarus arrives just in time to intervene. Later, Lazarus's pastor friend RL visits and learns of Ray's situation. At Lazarus's request, RL talks to Ray, which helps her become more tolerant of her circumstances. Ray starts to adjust, even putting on a dress Lazarus bought for her and helping with dinner. For the first time in a long while, Ray feels a sense of peace in the calm environment Lazarus has created. Meanwhile, Ronnie is discharged from the military due to severe anxiety. He reconnects with Gil, who cruelly suggests that Ray has likely moved on to another man. Enraged, Ronnie attacks Gil and takes his car to continue searching for Ray. After dinner at Lazarus's home, he and Ray share a drink. Lazarus toasts to freedom, but Ray points out the irony, given her chained situation, surprising her. Lazarus unlocks the chains, setting her free, realizing he has no right to control anyone's life. He even offers to take her into town, but Ray instead asks him to play a song. Lazarus plays Black Snake Moan on his guitar, helping Ray stay grounded as memories of past abuse resurface during a thunderstorm. The next day, Lazarus takes Ray into town where she confronts her mother about the abuse she suffered. Her mother coldly denies any responsibility, even blaming Ray for her own suffering. Enraged, Ray attacks her mother, but Lazarus intervenes, helping her calm down and carrying her out of the store. That evening, Lazarus decides to return to the local bar and play a set. He and Ray head to the bar, where Lazarus delivers a powerful blues performance. Ray, finally feeling a sense of liberation, dances and enjoys the music, unaware that Ronnie is watching her from outside. The next morning, their peace is shattered when Ronnie arrives at Lazarus's home, gun in hand. Filled with jealousy and rage, he confronts Lazarus, accusing Ray of betrayal. As the situation escalates, Lazarus bravely confronts Ronnie, challenging him to channel his anger towards him instead of Ray. Overwhelmed, Ronnie collapses in an anxiety attack. Ray rushes to his side, comforting him and proving her commitment to their relationship. Recognizing the depth of their struggles, Lazarus calls RL for support. As the pastor listens, Ronnie opens up about his feelings of inadequacy and his inability to help Ray with her own problems. Ray, in turn, admits to her mistakes, but reassures Ronnie of her love for him. The two realize that, despite their flaws, they are stronger together, and decide to stay by each other's side. The film concludes with a simple wedding between Ronnie and Ray, attended by close friends. Instead of a traditional ring, Ronnie ties a small chain around Ray's waist, symbolizing their bond and commitment to facing life's challenges together. As they drive away, a loud noise triggers one of Ronnie's anxiety attacks, but Ray, holding onto the chain, pulls herself together and soothes him, showing that they are ready to rely on each other as they move forward. End the movie. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.